Hi guys, I'm Sam W. Martin from Apothecary 87 and I'm here today with Jimmy CUTTHROAT, also from Apothecary 87, and we're going to be talking to you about how to drastically increase your turnover in your barbershop or salon through product sales. And we're going to do this by talking a little bit about how to deal with your customers, how to educate them, and how to sell to them without damaging any client relationships you might have. One of the biggest problems I hear about from our clients is that the barbers really struggle to sell to their clients without damaging that client-barber relationship. And I see that a lot. Jimmy, I don't know how much you've come across that as a barber or even someone who owns a barbershop with your staff.
Well, I suppose I've come across it with teaching new hairdressers and barbers and things like that in a local college. The sort of confidence of being able to communicate to people, but also not wanting to ruin that bond where it's, it's a bit more about having a laugh and not too serious.
Yeah.
As soon as you start to talk about products.
Well, barbers find it really easy to become friends with their clients,
Yeah.
and breaking that with the professional selling side is always a worry from what I've seen.
That's it, yeah.
So today we're going to have a little chat about how to get around that and how to increase your turnover without actually damaging that relationship, and actually I reckon probably enhancing it a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
it enhances the sort of like the customer's experience.
Yeah. So the first thing that any barber should be doing is interviewing their client about what service they're going to be providing. I know that a lot of the time barbers will do a very short "what are we doing today?"
Yeah.
And I think that it needs to be a lot more in depth to actually get the customer feeling comfortable and feeling a good bond, like the barber really cares about what they're doing.
Yeah.
So what type of things have you done? What would you say to a client to actually take that bit further?
Well, of course, you differ from your regular client to a new client. So a new client, the consultation would be a lot longer than if it was a regular client. So establishing that point first is the first point in the customer service, because you can establish how much time you need to be booking out.
Yeah.
This is what it leads down to, is the time.
Yeah, and then let's say you've got a brand new customer and you really want to drill down into what service you're giving them. What would you say are the questions that you need to be asking them?
Yeah, so first you'd establish what they was wanting. So usually I'd ask, have they got any examples, any styles or anything like that they'd like to work towards or try and replicate. From that, then I basically give my personal opinion whether it is suitable for them, as in like the hair's too long, too short, how it would work. And then I also have to take into account their lifestyle, their professional, the profession, so their job. You're not going to give someone a really funky mohawk or something like that if they're a solicitor or etc. And also how long it takes them to do it when they're at home. And you have to educate the clients around all this before you actually get to the second stage, which is we can actually do this style. Okay,
so to summarise, we would put that into talking about the style that they want, if they've got any examples, how they would normally style it, and what kind of product they would use, what finish they'd be looking for, and also what they generally do as well. So those few things right there would be what you would spend your time talking to the customer about. Okay, so once you've done that first point, the second point is to really try and educate your customer about what you're doing with the cut. That's going to be talking a little bit about why you cut it in a certain way and the reasons for that. So, Jimmy, when you've got a client in, or when your staff have got clients in, how do you do that? What do you tell the clients about their haircut?
So, again, with the consultation, we work out sort of growth patterns, car flakes, double crowns, irregular growth patterns, such as yourself, where the side of your hair grows backwards.
It does.
So, for instance, if we took you into the chair, we'd have to identify that you've got an irregular growth pattern on the side, and maybe you couldn't achieve your style that you was wanting. So say like a disconnection or something like that.
So they could, the customer would be able to really understand how their hair works for them and achieve the best kind of style
the best option for them,
with that knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. So the next step is really key, because this is where a lot of people tend to fall off the track in where they should be going. And this is educating the client on the product that they're going to have for their style. And what you'll find is that most clients actually want to be educated about the product that they need to use so they can recreate this style at home. My thoughts really are talking to the client about the product that they need whilst you still have them in the chair and you're doing the cut, and then you would transfer on to telling them about the product itself that you're going to use when you're actually applying it. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
So what we do is, as we've started doing the service of the cutter, we then talk to the client about what products they currently use, which is usually supermarket brands or something like that we tend to find. And then we tell them the benefits of firstly using a professional product. So you don't have to use as much, it lasts a lot longer, the style's a lot more reworkable and achievable and things like that. And you're not always
benefits.
Exactly, you're not always going to the supermarket and buying whatever's on offer because you don't really understand the products.
Exactly,
so from there, we then educate the client about the benefits of actually using the product that we're going to use and how they can get the style, as desired. So whether that be wet, dry.
I know that when I used to go for my haircut, long before I started Apothecary 7, didn't know much about getting my haircut. What I'd find is I always struggled to get that same kind of style, and a lot of that was down to not having the knowledge about the product and what I should use. I went to the supermarket, bought a tub of gel, and lo and behold, it wasn't the right style. So this is a big tick in the right box if you're wanting to sell more products, and also make your customers feel a lot better about coming to you. Giving away knowledge on the product and how that works for someone's haircut specifically, educating them on how to use that product to achieve their haircut is such a good positive thing for them to take away from the barbershop. Such a good feeling.
It's a good feeling, and it just makes them a lot more at ease being in your barbershop if you're giving them the information of how they can recreate the style at home, because it's not seeming like you'll just want them to constantly come back and and have a haircut.
This is really where you showcase your professionalism in the barbershop.
Definitely.
Okay, so you've finished cutting the hair and educating the client. You've finished styling the hair, educating the client, telling them about the product. Now the service is over. It's not. It's still going. A lot of barbers are really scared at this point to actually ask their client for the sale. And a simple question, would you like to take any product away with you, is something that's overlooked so many times. This, I think, is a real way to actually help the client. The client doesn't know the products out there, they don't know what they're looking for, so have the professional opinion and guidance in what to take and use for their hair is a really strong thing, don't you think? There's a couple of ways that I would suggest to do this. Now, first of all, if you're a barber by yourself, as you guys do most of the time except for weekends when it's your busy time, you will actually deal with the end of service.
We'll do that,
and you'll do that as a barber.
Yes.
So you'll take them to the checkout, you'll ask them if they want to take any product away with them, and you'll guide them as to which product you've used.
Exactly.
But at the weekends you get very busy, and a lot of barbers have this problem where they don't have that time to really go through the whole thing, so they'll do a handover to reception.
Keeps it a bit more professional as well.
And what to do in this situation is take them to the reception and tell the receptionist, introduce them to the receptionist, this is so and so, this is Joe Vlogs, this is the service he's had, and this is the product that I've used, and allow the receptionist to
then ask the question.
Exactly, to ask the question if they want to take the product away. And this is where you will drastically improve your sales. Especially following all the points that we spoke about prior to this, you will have a drastically increased revenue stream, I think.
Definitely. It worked well for us, so.
Well, we'll get into that in 2 moments. The final thing that I really want to say as well, and this is the last point before I want to tell you a little bit about why this works and how this has worked. is to record the product that you sell on your client database. And again, this is something that a lot of people don't do. They don't use any client databases to record information. But it's very strong, because if you have your repeat customers, as I know you've got a huge list of return customers, your regulars, and if you know what they had last time, even if they've been once before and bought a product, then you can ask them if they want the same again. You know, you can talk to them at the start of the service if they want to try something different, and you can really guide the client in the right direction for that second sale, that repeat sale, if you have got that information, which is a huge thing. Okay, so it's all very well us telling you these steps and how to increase your turnover, but everybody wants to know, does it work? So we tried. Earlier this year, I think it was January, February time, I made a bet with Jimmy. And at the time, Jimmy was selling about 3 products a day on his busiest day with 3 barbers in the shop. My bet with Jimmy had no upside for me, and it was a £500 bet that you could sell more than 15 products in one day if you followed these steps.
Step by step,
So tell us a little bit about before, after the steps, and what happened.
So I suppose before the steps, it was the staff weren't really educated on the products and didn't have the confidence to be able to do it, and I suppose it was also my fault as well, as being a barber, that I didn't really push it on my clients, because I didn't want to, like we've said, ruin the relationship, ruin the relationship, and go from being sort of like a fun go-to barber to being business-minded. Because that's what we're all in barbering for, really, is a business. It's not just.
You're scared about damaging that relationship, even though it is what you do for a living. And so before you tried these steps, you were selling about 3 products a day.
About 3 products a day.
Average was about £15 a product, which was so like the Apothecary 7 hair products.
That's it.
So it was about £45 a day on your busy day, and about half of that on your quiet days.
Exactly.
Okay, so that would be about 12 products a week. About £180 in revenue a week, and that translates to £9,000 pounds a year. So it's okay, you're there, but like most barbers, you're not really pushing it.
No.
So once you actually put these steps into place, this all happened on one day, didn't it? It was one Saturday. You put these steps in place, and tell us what happened on that Saturday. You went from 3 products
to 18 products.
To 18 products in a day. So that's a 6 times increase. Which is huge.
It's huge.
Okay, so again, looking at that model of selling half of that on your quiet days and then 18 products on your busy days, then we're kind of hitting 270 quid on a busy day, 72 products a week. So it's going quite well at this point. And then all that kind of added up turns into about £56,000 a year, which is huge. Gone from 9,000 to 56.
But it can be half the income of some barbers' shops, basically.
Which is
just doing product sales.
Which is a massive step, isn't it? And that's something that you've still managed to improve on as well.
Yeah, definitely. So educating the staff and making. So what we took upon ourselves to do is set targets for the barbers as well, which is from a hairdressing background. It's huge in the hairdressing industry to set targets and things like that for your staff, but it's not really known in the barbering industry. So we started setting sales targets and things and making it a bit more fun for the staff as well. And from that we were hitting like 30 products. 30 products on a busy day. So now that increases even more. This is following the 6 steps that we. 6 steps, So 30 products on your busy days, about half of that on your quiet days again, with your small team that you've got of barbers. So that kind of translates to about 450 quid in product sales a day, based on that £15 hair product, which is huge. You can turn over about £1,800 a week, and then that scaled up to the annual turnover. We're looking at £93,000, which is a 10x on what you're originally doing, 10 times the amount. So you've added on huge revenue just by following 6 steps that actually
not only do they help increase your revenue,
Yeah.
but have you seen a difference with that bringing customers back and the service that you're providing?
Yeah, what it also does is it helps. So we now get clients just popping in for the products rather than for the haircut as well sometimes.
That's amazing.
And that's we've built that relationship up now where it's the go-to place so they can carry up the upkeep of their style throughout between the styles.
Yeah. So it's safe to say the bet that Jimmy and myself had, there was no upside for me, and it was to kind of prove a point of how possible this is. I lost, which I kind of wanted to.
Yeah.
But
absolutely nice to win something for once.
But you managed to 10x your product sales, which is an insane achievement.
Yeah.
And it's not difficult. You follow 6 steps, and anyone can do it.
Yeah, it's simple to do.
Yeah, that's amazing. So guys, I can't stress enough, follow these few steps. It's going to make your shop better. It's going to make everything that you do a lot more professional. It's going to make your clients more happy, and you're going to be providing another service and increasing your revenue. So follow the few steps and let us know how you get on.